Boston Celtics. In the meantime, it's Christopher Law, 3 for Madness. Question 1.
In 1 or 2 sentences, how did the Kings beat the Cleveland Cavaliers last night?
1 or 2 sentences. Okay. I can do this. By executing, hustling, being proactive, and on the front foot, and not letting themselves get distracted by pockets of negative play or positive play from the Cavs. They stayed with it, and they executed their plan. They imposed their will. That's what I'd say. They imposed their will on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Put you about 7 right there.
You know what? I had it, and then I expanded.
Yeah, but to be fair, there's a lot of semicolons in those first couple sentences.
There were some commas, and some, I would prefer some dots. Jason.
The compete level was relentless. That's my sentence.
The compete level? Why do you have to
And he nailed it.
And he nailed it. 1 sentence. I'm Jason. I can compartmentalize my thoughts into 1 sentence. I say it in this voice because it makes it sound like it's a bad thing, but it's actually a compliment, and I'm just complimenting you, but I'm doing it in this voice. Hey, thank you. Hey, thank you. You're welcome. Question 2, please.
Question 2.
Why is this team so dang inconsistent?
In 9 sentences.
I think the team's so inconsistent because I think they're surprising teams. Now, look. We talked before, again, about different lineups will sometimes mess with teams. Now, the question is, eventually other teams, the more Devin Carter plays, the more they have these certain lineups, the more teams coming in to play the Kings or hosting the Kings are going to be able to break. Okay, this is what Carter does off of Trey Lyles, and this is what Murray's motion looks like when it's Keon, and they're going to pick up trends. And can the Kings continue to execute, or when defenses tend to catch up, or offenses, to be honest with you, will they be able to adjust as well? But I think they're inconsistent. A lot of it is injuries aren't a great thing for a team, but sometimes if there's a bright side to injuries, especially with high usage players, it completely changes the way the team plays. And they obviously are catching teams like Memphis and Cleveland off guard with some of these dynamic lineups.
Yeah, part of it is a little bit of self-inflicted. Look what they did to the roster. They changed the roster to start the season a little bit, more so during the season. I mean, let's go back to the beginning. You're playing with Fox and Huerter in the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. Those guys are gone. Now, last night you got Valanciunas in the starting lineup, Keon Ellis. We're seeing more Carter and Lyles lately, LaRavia. So Levine's now a part of the team. So part of it is that part you change coaches.
Yep.
So there's been a lot of change on the season, but the wild swings is a little bit hard to understand because again, they just came off 4 games that they lost, where 3 of them they didn't have a chance to win. I mean, just totally disappointing.
Yeah.
At the most important time of the year.
Yep.
And then you bounce back with 2 very impressive wins.
Very impressive wins, and you have the Bulls tonight.
Yeah, that you just don't want to give your equity back tonight.
Right.
Like tonight, when we saw the 7-game homestand, you're like, well, maybe Chicago, maybe Portland. Can you squeeze another game or 2 out? Well, you've already got 2, and 1, I think most people didn't think they'd get at all, was Cleveland. Memphis was maybe closer to 50-50, but they got it. So you don't want to give that back tonight. You want to keep this thing going. You've got some distance between Phoenix and Dallas on you. And you've made it a little bit more interesting with now Minnesota being the team that's closer to you. And
right.
They had a bad loss to New Orleans. You just want to keep a little bit of that hope alive. And if it ends up where you can't catch them, fine, but don't let the people behind you catch you.
There are 7 games left in the March Gauntlet, just to update. Chicago, Milwaukee, Boston, OKC, Portland, all at home, then at Orlando and at Indiana.
And they've already hit your number.
They hit my number last night. They are 5-5. I said 5-12. They just need 1 more win.
Yeah.
And they could get that, I hope, tonight.
Yep.
Listen. And if I would have taken, what would it be? 7-10? 5-5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have taken. you told me 7 and 10 at the start of the whole thing, I'd be like, give that to me.
Yeah.
So I want to be accountable for that. Anything above, by definition, anything for this month above, and I don't want to jinx it either, by the way. Anything above 5 and 12 for this month to me is found money, regardless of where the wins came from. We can look at bad loss here, bad loss there, but it's the sum of the parts. And I want to make sure there's the on the ground look and there's the 50,000 foot look. And for me, the 50,000 look is, well, with the exception of tiebreakers, I don't care where the wins come from. Ultimately, I don't care who we win, who we lose. I care about the record. That's what matters in the standings. You don't get an extra win for beating a good team. You don't get an extra loss for losing to a bad team. But the fact that they're sitting here right now already at 5 wins for the month with 7 games left bodes that this month should be better than some of us expected. Yeah. Number 3, please.
Question 3.
Red Velvet returns tonight. What type of reception do you expect for him?
I think it's going to be I think on a passion scale. So for Fox, for example, whether you cheered or booed, the passion scale was a 10.
Yes,
very passionate.
Yes.
DeMarcus Cousins, a 10. Tyrese Halliburton, a 10. Boo or cheer or whatever, it was a 10. I think it's going to be 95, if not 100% applause, ovation, if you will, and I think the passion meter will be at a 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with warm.
Yeah.
Like he fits the bill to me of what happens more times than not. Once a king, always a king. He has nothing really for people to go, oh, Kevin Huerter. Like maybe there was times you didn't like the way he played, but I don't think there's a thing where you go, remember when Kevin Huerter said this, or he did this, or he complained about this? No. He was a likable king, played hard, had a great start to his king tenure, didn't finish the way he wanted, but that's happened sometimes. And I would say warm. I'm with you. 7's a good number. I think he gets cheered. I don't think it's a, man, the building went nuts for him, but why wouldn't we show him love?
There's no reason not to. Yeah. I mean, there's some people that are like,
I feel like a lot of people are just wishing him luck. Like, he's in Chicago. He's in the other conference. Really no impact on this team. Now, don't go for 40 tonight.
No.
But, if he scored like 15 and the Kings beat the Bulls,
I'm fine with that.
Perfect night.
By the way, I'm fine with him scoring 40 and the Kings beat the
Bulls.
Bulls.
That's true. He can do that.
That's completely okay. Also, let's not forget DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine.
True.
Also a part of this as well. So a lot of familiar faces and reunions. We'll take a break.